joined us. You're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has launched a probe into CryptoBank Exchange, known as Cbex, over a suspected 1.3 trillion naira fraud. The platform, run by foreign nationals and Nigerian partners, suddenly collapsed on April 14, locking out thousands of investors. The EFCC, already tracking Cbex before the crash, is now working with Interpol to arrest those behind it. Cbex had lured Nigerians with promises of 100% return in 30 days. But after restricting withdrawals on April 9, users found their balances wiped and were asked to deposit more money to verify their accounts. Chaos followed, with angry investors raiding offices in Ibadan. Offices in Abuja were shot also, with heavy security presence in them. Victims reported losing life savings, school fees, and wedding funds. A banker described how Cbex promoters pitched him on AI-based crypto trading, but he declined, citing the unrealistic returns. The Securities and Exchange Commission had earlier warned against unlicensed trading platforms, now criminals under ISA 2025. The EFCC said many other similar schemes are under investigation. Financial experts blame unchecked greed and ignorance, urging Nigerians to verify investment platforms and avoid schemes promising huge returns without a risk. Now let's have a conversation. I have with me still Dr. Olayinka Oyebile, and joining us right about now is Innocent Adolugba. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, in a bit. It's still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere. Well, thank you once more for being with us. Still Enterprise Morning, and we were talking about the Cbex fraud, and EFCC and Interpol coming together to see how they can solve the problem of fraud of about 1.3 trillion naira. I still have with me Dr. Olayinka Oyebile and Innocent Adoluba. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. I'd love to start with you, Doctor, on this particular matter. Knowing that Nigeria, there are no laws yet that stops anyone to invest in Nigeria. But do you really think that the incessant fraud that we have seen from crypto businesses like this will end anytime soon?
Well, you see, looking at this issue, it's like the time we used to have incessant military coup. How does this relate with what we are having? A coup planner believes he's going to succeed, and if he fails, he faces the consequences. So it's the same thing. Because one Ponzi scheme has failed does not mean another one will fail. Or I will invest in it, get my money, and then before it collapses, I will have gotten all my invested capital.
But doctor, that's always what they think about. The doctor, that's always what investors think about. They always think about, let's invest small, we make our money, and we run away. But before you know it, they get into it, and that's how they lose lots of their money.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, I don't know how long this Cbex thing has been in Nigeria, but I must confess to you that it's only about 3-4 months ago that I heard about it. And I know people who invested in it. And the layer of it was that all you just needed to do is to change your put some naira in a particular account, they will change it to dollars, and then you begin trading. And you trade for some days. I'm not an economist, I don't know much about all those high-falutin trading and whatever, but I know that I see people say, okay, if you put so amount of money in another 2 months or in another 2 weeks.
Are you still there with us, Doctor? I think we're having a little bit of a glitch there. Innocent Adeluwa, speak to us on this particular matter.
To tell you
right, I think
that they've made so much.
Doctor, are you still there with us? Like we're having a bit of a glitch there. Innocent, I'd love you to speak to us on this particular matter, especially as regards Nigerians, being heavily involved in some of the sins. This is not the first time we've had issues like this. MMM is a classical case. And when they come with this 100% profit on your investment, which is a very good bait to get everyone involved in it. Is this peculiar to Nigeria, or is this a case of a poverty-riddled society that cannot help itself, and therefore people will love to do what they can to survive?
Well, Dele Oyewale, the EFCC spokesman, already confirmed that the organization will partner with the International Criminal Police on this investigation, but I don't believe we've seen the last of it. In the kind of economy we are in now, anything about money doubling, anything about rebound profit, any Ponzi, it's as doctor said, that a coup failed does not disillusion other coup plotters. So there are those who have been involved serially in all the failures, including this one, who are gearing up for the next one that will come. The economy is not opened up. And so those who may have gained from this will tell you, there are those who have gained before it crashed and have lost money in the crash, but will celebrate that, oh, they are lucky, they are happy. Because if they quantify that capital they had ab initio to where they are now, they are on the bounce.
But Innocent, this you're making it look like it is a great investment that Nigerians should be looking out for. Don't you think this is more looking like a hypnotism, an economic hypnotism?
No, don't put it that way. It's if you ask me, it's lottery mentality.
And you think it's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Really?
To whom it may concern. Did you get that? It is perfectly okay to whom it may concern. Doctor may not go near it. It's not okay for him. It's like even sports betting. You see, as we speak,
regulated. Sports betting is heavily regulated.
Whatever you see,
yes,
you are staking an amount for gains that will follow, regulated or unregulated. It's nomenclature. But you are staking something in anticipation for a swell, an increase of what you will take out. And like I said, I'll repeat it, it's very okay to whom it may concern. You know, when you go out, they tell you all cars are parked at owner's risk. So if you cannot bear the risk, you move off. But I think the organizers, the owners know the kind of economy Nigerians are experiencing. If you take this to a country whose economy is on the boom, on the increase, the patronage may not be at the level of what we have in Nigeria. Let me also tell you that, of course, not the same.
Yeah.
But if you know the amount of corporate directors, corporate business people, I'm using the word corporate lecturers and professors who stake big money in sports betting, and you juxtapose this with the perception, the societal assessment of it. I'm saying they are not the same. The same applies to this. And already, if you look at our stock exchange, that is a structured house, but that's a similitude of some of these things. I think even, let me use the word, money trading began from the stock exchange and all of those places, money lending and all the debentures, into where we are. So that this one has crashed, I'm repeating it. A lot of people are not disillusioned. They are waiting for the new one. And like you have given in your intro, they will quickly run in, hoping to quickly run out and then be caught on their way out.
Doctor, don't you think we are constantly having a debasing society? Because when this nomenclature, on our faces and looking very enticing, looking interesting, at the same time, we have seen institutions in Nigeria who regulate a financial system in this country speaking to the truth of Ponzi, asking Nigerians not to get into it because it is not certified by them. But of course, everyone is free to do just like he did say, to whom it may concern. How do you think we can really, get past this issue such that Nigerians cannot lose their money? Because the money under reference here should be circulating in the economy and not just taken to another country.
Yes. You see, there is a limit to which you can control all this. The reason is that the cyber space, at least in Nigeria, remains largely unregulated. I've never been to China, but I heard that in China, you cannot use your Gmail or Google. So anything that has to do with Google or Gmail, you cannot use in China. That's what I heard. I've never been there, and I've not been able to confirm it. But those who have gone, senior journalists like myself who have gone to China, have come back to tell me that. So I have no reason to doubt them. So why am I comparing that to Nigeria? So in Nigeria now, we don't have that system. We cannot control the cyberspace. Every Ponzi scheme that comes to Nigeria, we have space in our cyberspace. So until we have that sophistication, assuming, I'm not sure Cbex will be operating in the US or in the UK or in Europe and all those things, because they have a way to control their cyberspace. But in a case like Nigeria, we are still learning our ropes. All sort of cyber crime and cyber whatever we creeping into our cyberspace. So for the for the Efcc or whoever is in charge of our cyberspace to control that, it will be difficult, and it will be also difficult. As I told you, I said it's only about 4 or 5 months ago that I have heard about this. And when I heard about it, people who told me about it showed me the online, those who have been coming out to praise Cbex that I invested $1,000 and I got $5,000 in 3 weeks. I got this in 3 months, and I was wondering. It was enticing. But I looked at it, I said, can it be true? So, and for anybody who is looking for money or who thinks that, well, it's my investment. It's not as if I'm killing somebody to get this money. So people will put their money there and they would want to get back their return. It's like buying a shares in a bank. And some people will even tell you that it is more profitable to invest in this than in buying shares in banks. Because banks don't give you that much, and so on and so forth. So what I see there is that it will be very hard to regulate in Nigeria as long as they can have their self on our cyberspace. How the Efcc intends to do the investigation with the Interpol. So when they get these people, are the investors going to get back their money? How do they know who invested? And because I heard that the website has crashed.
Yeah.
those who have $1,000, $2,000 or whatever dollars they have been wiped out to zero. So how do they get those who invested there, and how are they going to get back their money? Well, for those who have been able to get their capital, good luck to them. And for those who have lost, some of them will, I heard that in Ibadan, many of them invaded because they have been opening offices.
Yes.
Even in Lagos, they are in the process of opening an office in Ilupeju and VI and so on and so forth. These offices, some of their investors have invaded and have started looting there, which I think is a different level of madness in itself, because if you go there and loot, that's stealing. So how do we stop this? It is a difficult thing, I must confess, because as long as people are looking for how to survive in this harsh economy, it will be hard to tell them when, if Yinka invested and is cashing out, why will Henry not also invest? You know, things like that. So it will take, and what this thing does is that they use what in advert we call testimonial evidence. That is, if assuming I invested there now and I've cashed out, I can talk to you. And because you know me and you trust me, you also invest. Yeah. When you also cash out, you talk to somebody else, you know, so, and those things spread a lot. They have a way they spread, and they make people invest. So how, I wish the Interpol and Efcc good luck, and I hope that they are able to get those people and retrieve some of those money, so that those who invested perhaps will have some of their money back.
No, very, very true. 1.3 trillion naira is a huge sum of money that I would love to believe if it was present within our system, it would do a lot. Innocent, we all understand and agree, you know, with the catchphrase, to whom it may concern.
Exactly.
Yes, but every single person it is concerning has a way indirectly of affecting the society we live in, because when your disposable income goes away from the system, it has a way of having an effect on the common society that we find ourselves. Speak to me on the place of contentment, self-greed in the life of people. Is it that it's can we call it investment, or do we call it lack of contentment in the life of people who want to invest in such kind of business?
It is not lack of contentment, Henry. You know, it is ambition. It is hustle. You know, it is drive for better life.
Even if it's injurious to
whatever. I don't know if I'm an advocate of Cbex. You know, like Doctor just told us, there are environments where this will thrive. If you ask me, our government has created the enablement for Cbex to thrive in Nigeria. And then, again, we have the Corporate Affairs Commission. I want to believe Cbex is a duly registered body. It should be. And the purpose, their vision and mission of the kind of business they were going to do would have been expressed and documented in this business registration process. So as it is now, we are just, how do they say it? We are playing catch up. We're playing catch up. If we registered such a body duly, we cannot use it as a yardstick to measure contentment in the life of Nigeria. And notice that it is difficult, Henry, in Nigeria, to ignore the lure of the dollar. What are you talking about? What is the exchange rate between naira and dollar, Henry? You find Nigerians, of course, from 2024 till 2-3 months back, Cbex has changed its name severally, if you go through the report in Punch. And they've even sent out some, will I call it, warnings to people who have graded investment from 1,000 to this. Oh, you update with $200, from like that. So, but the platform is one that promises a lot of gain, a lot of incentive. And in such a situation, you cannot be measuring contentment. What's better than money is the title of a book written by James Hadley Chase. What's better than money? And our Bible tells us money answereth all things. I see the Director General of
Even if money is the root of all evil, the same Holy
no,
Writ
money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Money is an inanimate object. It's there. It is neither harmful nor harmless. It's human beings that animate the usefulness or otherwise of money. Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, had spoken, and he is saying that, of course, recently President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed the Investment and Securities Act 2025. This, for him, is going to help to operate, it is going to regulate and checkmate all online operation of forex businesses and clip their wings. They cannot do this without prior registration with the commission. But like I said, we are playing catch up. There was a Corporate Affairs Commission that would have registered this because there is no report saying they are an illegally existing organization. And so, like I mentioned the stock exchanges earlier, there is now an Investment and Securities Act 2025 signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, so if these things exist before this crash, and then the EFCC are out with muzzles chasing clouds, because by now, Henry, they've all dispersed.
Yeah.
I doubt if they are still gathered. You hear doctor tell you their offices are now being looted. That means you can't even meet anybody there. So let our laws be firm from takeoff. That's what I would say about this.
Very, very true. Doctor, you are a communicator, and I would love to believe you are the best fit to answer this particular question. If you go through the reportage, it's stated there that both brand ambassadors and influencers, and of course we're speaking to A-list artists and actors that we have today in Nigeria who notably have seen themselves being brought into the picture as both brand ambassadors and influencers for some of these crypto businesses. It's stated that from now henceforth, that whoever endorses or makes himself available as brand ambassador, to some of these people, will be complicit to the consequences that would come from it. So I do not know, how do you think we can solve this particular issue with respect to communication? I don't think a doctor is here. A doctor, can you hear me?
Anyway, I'll take it from there until a doctor joins us.
Okay.
I think he's having some...
some technical...
But you see, communication is the vehicle of bridging consumers and the people who are supplying, the organizations and their target consumers. The damage is done already. I doubt if Cbex officials are out there talking. So it is what Cbex throws out that will be communicated. There can be no intervention communication as it were now, if you get my point. The Cbex, doctor is back, but the Cbex heads, owners, business owners, the board and managers and all, would rule out what communications they have that will go out. It is the reaction of people, the feedback, that system, that feedback loop, that will now determine what counter or reactive communication will emanate a second time. But I think for now, they need to send out communication that massages the mood of their let me use the word, clients, customers who have lost. You have to send out consolatory messages. Maybe a bit flowery. You could try to speak to their losses and I hope they don't make fake promises.
That is if they are still in existence, because as we know today, they've all ghosted out. There's
that's why I said the EFCC are reacting late. We're playing catch up at this stage. And then take it that kind of communication we are discussing now may not come if they are aware of the EFCC's collaboration with International Criminal Police. Yes. Because wherever that kind of communication emanates from, the Interpol with EFCC will trace it. Yes. So I think it's a cul-de-sac, as it were, right now. It's a cul-de-sac. I'm talking about the losers. They are all in a cul-de-sac. Yeah. It's the business owners that are breathing free at large, as it were.
Very, very true.
Doctor, are you settled?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Yes, doctor. So
I can hear me.
Yes, very well. I can hear you. So
network has been.
Yes, a little bit here and there. But let's see what we can do with what we have. Doctor, I was asking you on the issue of corporate communication. Because either we like it or not, communication must continue. Either the business fails or it survives. But let's speak to the issue of influencers who make this communication better. How can an influencer expunge himself from issues like this, such that in the future he will still be relevant for other brands to take advantage of them? In the real estate sector, we've seen that, where influencers are used to have people buy into properties, and at the end of the day, such properties are not in existence. So my question direct is, how can influencers whose job is to communicate expunge themselves from things like this and stay relevant?
Well, it's a very, very delicate profession or delicate thing, because as an influencer or corporate communication person, you only know whatever they want you to know. And also, apart from that, you also need to do your own due diligence, because to put your name online as stake for a project that you know may not last, it is very, very difficult. But some of these people, what they look at is, oh, how much is it they want to give me? If they think the money they are giving to them is okay with them, they don't do their due diligence, because we look at the immediate. We don't look at the future. How many of those so-called influencers look at their own personal reputation? What damage it will do to them? They just treat it as a usual business. That, okay, if I do it for you and it fails, it's not me that failed. It is you that failed, and I'm using the information you gave me to promote you. So what I would just advise is that henceforth, they need to also do their own due diligence, and especially look at how those things are. Are they really what they claim they are? Because that's important. I will not put my name on a project that I know will not last. Before I put my name there, I will do my own inner workings to examine or to look at the reputation of those behind it. What have they done before? Have they done something like that before? And what is it that they have done that I would not be proud of if it comes into the open? So that's the way I see it. But most of these are our so-called influencers. They are cloud chasers. They are after the money, not their own reputation. So they just feel that, oh boy, no be Nigeria. If I get money for this one, another one, if I come there again, people will still come in. So it's just the mentality of the coup plotter. That's just it. That's just it. This one failed because he didn't plan well. But this one will not will not fail because we plan well. That is it.
Very, very true. Innocent Aduluba, just before we coast home, maybe I would love to digress a little bit, but of course it's still concerning the same issue of fraud, of reputation management and how to handle it. There are lots of smoke screen here and there. We're talking about the money market where we see a predominance of fraud in the sector. Now let's go to spiritual issues and that particular very humongous money-making system that is a religious sector. It's still the same thing. You see men of God, promising that when you invest in their calling or you invest in what they have to tell you, that there is 100% profit from it, which is similar to what we see in some of these crypto businesses here and there. A notable cleric and clergyman once said that if Nigeria were to be like the western part of the world, where everything, basic amenities were there, that most of these influential pastors would not survive the next week because everyone understands how to get what they want because the government makes it easy. Now, explain to us, do you think people should be concerned, people attracted to this other ecosystem, the religious ecosystem and the fraud there should equally be concerned?
In my teenage age, as a secondary school boy, somebody where we lived in the cantonment retired from the army and then used his gratuity, the gratuity, to build a church. Small as we were, 16 or thereabout, around my WAEC age, we were surprised because we see people living. We wonder when our parents will leave. We see people who left build houses close to the barracks. Some rent houses and then start businesses. Some blend tomato. Yes. Some of the men I know then who were in the engineering just opened mechanic workshop, and the soldiers go there with their vehicle. Nice. But this sect take their gratuity and start a new church. So I used to ask myself, I thought the gratuity is like money for sustaining you at the end of like a professional career. Oh, yeah. It was one woman one day who saw us arguing. We're just walking noisily and said, little children, that man has started business. And as a 16 or thereabout year old, I couldn't believe that the church is business. So Henry, this topic you are raising, they say outside religion, outside Jesus Christ, our Lord, and Muhammad, the Holy Prophet, the most influential personality is Karl Marx, the proponent of Marxism. And his popular worldwide comment is, religion is the opium of the people. In simple language, religion is the medicine the people cannot resist. Religion is. So in a country like Nigeria, somebody just finishes NYSC. This is where you will take your graduation certificate from school and the NYSC and go to one of the churches and lie down there for 3 weeks, praying, fasting. Meanwhile, you did not go to the university for 4 or 5 years to come out and engage in a prayer competition. Not taking anything out of prayer. Yes, but if that person, like you said, equally graduated in Sussex in England, or in Southampton, or in Hamburg in Germany, or in New Jersey, he will be nowhere near a church. Yes. The next day, you walk into a place and submit your CV for a vacancy. The same person, the same Christian or Muslim or whoever, you will start a job and you start building your career with certifications or further degrees. So I don't see anything, I don't have any complaints with the men of God. You have just drawn a parallel that someone said, were this, I call them mercantilist pastors, mercantilist clergymen, were they to be operating their business out there like you said, what will quench the antidote to their business is a stable running economy. Again, like Cbex, our government is the agent of development and underdevelopment. And in this respect, our government has productively engendered underdevelopment. So the masses are clueless, hopeless, in disarray. And they look up to religious people who make them, some people tell you that your first salary in your new job belongs to your pastor. And I mean, when such people are gullible, I doubt if you and I will hear such and then follow through. By the time we hear the cry of our kids, school fees, rent, and all the other, bills don't go on holidays.
Yes.
Whatever public holiday you have, it does not your bills, your expenses don't go on break. So I wouldn't put it at par. I will put it at the gullibility of individuals towards their pastors, because I cannot believe today, instead of me to call friends, oh, I'm not working, oh, I'm looking for a job, oh, I'm doing this business, instead of me to make move for business growth, I abandon all of that to zero and go and lie down in one church, sleep for 3 days, and say that when I come out, a job will be waiting for me.
From the mountain.
And they say,
just like
whatever you sow, that will reap. So
Very
if I
true.
sow nothing,
Very, very true. Doctor, do you buy to this submission? Of course, it's we might call it a little bit of a digressing, but it still points out to the same thing. When we have a system in a country where there is no leadership, where the economy is not working, why development is deficit and all, it gives birth to some of the things that we are talking about today. I don't know, we still have an issue, a little bit of issue there with Doctor and the
so
network.
Harry, let
and all.
me
Yes,
let
please,
me
you
say,
can just
are you in quote saying there are Ponzi pastors?
Well, that is what it is. Look.
So, Doctor, welcome.
Yes, Doctor.
Do you think there are Ponzi pastors?
Of course.
Yeah.
There are many of them now. In fact, as we have been saying, the social media has promoted them so much that there are so many of them, and I begin to ask myself, why are we doing this to Christendom? One of them recently said Jesus Christ never visited the poor.
Yes.
That Jesus Christ hates
And I
poverty.
begin to-
It's poverty.
And I ask myself, if Jesus Christ was born in a manger, and all the people, at least from my own Bible,
Yes.
most of the people I saw he related with are poor people. He told the rich man to go and sell his property and come back. And the man, this one now says he never visited a poor man. So, what do you call such a one? And I don't want to judge anyone, but I know the kind of church I attend, and I know who I can sit under to minister to me. So there are lots of them, and I'm not a Bible scholar, but at least I've read my Bible, and the Bible tells me that on the last day there will be many false prophets. Perhaps we are tending towards that last day. So we have so many Ponzi pastors, so many. Legions of that were sent from the pigs.
Very true, Pastor. And I think we just have to, wrap up for now. Just like it said, the absence of the rule of law, gives birth to all of these things that we see. A Ponzi businessmen, Ponzi men of God, Ponzi leaders. This is not just exceptional to business people and spiritual men. It equally equates to leadership.
Politicians.
Yes, Ponzi politicians, because they promised us that they would ensure that life is better. They said that when they come into power, that the pump price of fuel will come down, and today it is over the roof. They promised us this and that, but of course they are not delivering in all of those things. So add everyone together. It's all Ponzi, Ponzi, Ponzi in a society that is totally debased, unfortunately. But we truly do hope that things will get better. We truly do hope that the rule of law, which is the most important thing, must be obeyed, because then when that is attended to, then I would love to believe that every other thing would make itself better. Thank you so very much, Dr. Olanika Oyegbule. We truly do appreciate you today. Thank you so very much. Innocent
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, as always,
for
making this picture complete. All right, people, that's all we have for today. I would love to say thank you to you for being here. I would love to believe you enjoyed our program just like we did here. You can rewatch this, if you may, when you visit us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. You may equally read more on what we have discussed today when you see us at enterprisetvnews.com. My name is Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.